You know what? I think we're live. Let's go. Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive Web3 game modeled after Dungeons & Dragons. With just 15 moves a day, you must find the right balance to navigate each zone and climb the leaderboard. In the meantime, you can also find NFTs that will bolster your chance to win or can be traded to other players.
Lots to do. You understand.
Season 2 gave out over $12,000 in prizes. And now in Season 3, we have Choose Your Own Adventure, new quest NFTs, and a smelter. Sure you're ready for Season 3 by picking up an NFT hero via the secondary market on OpenSea. Will you be our Season 3 champion? Check out our website, dragonscrossing.com, for more information. Let's go! All right, Kung Fu, how did you like the new intro? Did you see who was highlighted at the end of the video?
Oh, no, not in the end. I was distracted by some explosions.
Well,
but it's a really nice video.
Well, thanks, but it's just a half of it's new. It's the new version updated of the fun promo video for Season 3. And at the end when I say, will you be the Season 3 champion? It pops in Gatrino and Bob. They drop in out of the ceiling and there's explosions, because they're the Season 2 champions. They're co-champions, right? So we got to give the champions a shout out. If you are the champion of Season 3, you will get to be in the next promo video on some level, right? Kung Fu. So we should award people. If you win the championship out of this difficult game, you should be getting some cool rewards,
Yeah, there's a crown in near your name in the Discord.
Yes, right. So you get a Discord thing. And I see when I click on Katrino, Bob Nothing, and Doc, the first season champion, you get a crown. It's like a label. You get crowned season champion. And so they split the difference between adding up first and second place together and then split it. So they basically got the same amount because they're both first and second, they tied. But this is a crazy season, right? What is just your take on the season? I feel like it was more difficult than last year, but I think I did a little bit better as far as making my money back than last year. Maybe just because, I tried really hard. I was really, really trying hard, but it was not easy, right?
Yeah, it was definitely much more difficult than the previous season. And maybe part of that was that the RNG aspect of the game was a bit higher than probably people expected. And this was kind of good and bad. People who were not that skilled, maybe if they got good RNG, they did better than more experienced players. But in general, I think it was there were some good moves buffing up the mage because previous season was a warrior domination.
Warriors dominated, right?
And now it's they just switched places with the warrior and mage switched places, and ranger was. Still Rangers, they won both seasons, I think. But in top 100, Rangers were doing the worst from all the classes by mile.
Well, there is boosts to all that stuff and adjustments for Season 3. We'll get to all that, right? But for Season 2, the mages were really strong because they have good skills, right? They had a lot of good skills, and they started off with a good skill like Firebolt, right? And also they happen to have dodges like their main stat. I just brought up my leaderboard. You can see what I did. I got $192.51 off the leaderboard. Most of my characters killed Abaddon. A couple didn't, though, because I was just getting crushed so hard. And sometimes Abaddon, the final boss, I would fight him with guys that had the same exact stats almost. And one guy would just beat him up easy, and the other guy would just get crushed. I don't know what your experience was, but sometimes he just did not want to die.
Yeah, and I have also a couple of heroes that got only $5, but I died really a lot this season. At some point, I was kind of I got used to it, and my top hero actually landed number 3. I'm right behind
Leroy.
Yeah,
Long. So you're right in second place. You almost got onto the video. Probably, if I would have known this, because I probably knew it and forgot. If I would have known this, I would have had you at the bottom of the screen, crying, being sad, with a tear that you got in second place. That would have been fun.
And this illustrates how good mages were. So this guy was not in the calculations to be a contender at all, and he was like with 30 stats, like 32 or 34 stats. He doesn't have any good stat except wisdom,
Yeah,
and he has only starter skills. So this
right.
skill and this ranking is with only starter skills and
Wow.
with like an
Okay.
average hero.
So, newsflash, people that are worried they don't have really good base stats or really good skills, the mage got in third place with just base skills and not very good stats, right? To start off with. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. So this proves that everything is like marginal. You may get nice RNG, and with this guy, I got really nice RNG and managed to do really great. And a lot
Well,
of
it's like anything's possible in this game, right? Because of the RNG and all the different elements, like you could be the best player or the worst, and still you almost have an equal shot. Sort of, not really. I mean, you do have to play well, though. You know, you can't just make bad decisions.
yeah, but the team, it's their goal, like to be probably I think 80% skill based game and 20% RNG.
Right.
And I think previous season was like 50-50 at least, maybe a bit more leaning towards RNG. And if we go back to this direction, I think there are really nice improvements, nice changes once we go through the patch
Yeah.
notes that are in this direction.
So this season too, we saw all these things, and we know Grady had a lot of people in the top 10, and other of our buddies do. There's like a good group of people, like in the Sentinels and the people that hang around the Discord a lot, and they tend to do really well. Because you're trying hard, you're paying attention, but also we learn from each other, we talk to each other, we do tier list. So we're like, we don't know maybe every little thing about the game really well, but like, you just get like a broad general idea of a lot of things, and then you can make good decisions that way. It's like you're not often in a spot where you're like, I have no idea what to do. Well, I take that back. You might be, because you might be like,
Yeah,
I'm almost going to die. Should I die on purpose and go back and just give stuff to another player? There's actually a lot of situations where you're just kind of like, it's so 50-50, right? You're just really not sure what to do, which a lot of people get frustrated, but I kind of do like it a little bit, because it gives that sense of adventure of like, you're not sure of the outcome. And that other players, they're not just sitting there knowing exactly what to do all the time, right? Like they're also having difficulties.
yeah, sure, sure. And I think season 2 also offered a lot of more content to the community. You're making a lot of content Dragon Cross related. I am trying my best as well, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the good players they're watching this and probably checking out what you're doing good, what you're doing bad, and making their own mind what they want to do with when their heroes it's time to play.
Well, yeah, and also what happens in the Discord is everybody in the beginning of the day is like, Doug, do a stream and do this. There's like 30 people, and then I stream, and where is everybody? Hello, where are you guys? You know what I'm saying? Like you're watching this back right now, later on, and you're in big trouble. I'm going to find you. All right. So, because there's an important alpha they're going to get from I Know Kung Fu. So this is the leaderboard that happened. You can see all the stuff that people won, and someone like Grady had like 44 heroes, and he came away with like winning $180 or something like that, more than his entry fee. So he won like $900, some $970. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, he was profitable for like $2 about per hero, because he had like 44, right? Something like that. It was really funny and cool to see
Mhm.
that, and also all the work that goes in. How many heroes do you have, Kung Fu?
Oh, I summoned a bunch of rifts the other day, and I have 41, and one of them is given as a gratitude for a player that I coached um, today, and I'm planning to give this away when there is a nice opportunity. Probably we will make another video when the registration is open,
Yes.
and I can give that hero away and some of mine.
Yes,
But
a great
season
idea.
2, I played with 23 heroes, and it was a bit exhausting because I
Yeah,
was also shooting videos, and it
right.
took like from 2 to 3 hours per day, which is quite a lot. Trying to size down at least to 18, between 15 and 18 heroes for season 3.
Well, that's the thing too, because a lot of people said, "Hey, it's not fair. All these whales have a lot of heroes." And I'm like, "Well, the heroes aren't even that expensive, really. I mean, it's not. You don't have to be a whale. Really, in NFT land, whales are people spending like 10 grand or like 5 grand or something, right? But in this game, the entry is pretty easy. Rift heroes right now are really inexpensive. Season entry fee, you can win it back. I won back my season entry, pretty much all that stuff, right? Plus, you can sell NFTs. I have like right what now, 12 heroes and stuff. I just showed you, and and we'll see how. And like also, like we had a lot of people register last season, which was really great. So yeah, we'll do that. The registration and the season's going to open tomorrow. My time, Mountain Time, is like 7 p.m. and other people, it might be late at night, so it's gonna be like later at night tomorrow. We'll do a stream, around that time maybe, or do something, or when people can actually register and start playing and see what's going on, and see all the cool stuff that's happening and the new things we can do in this game with like the smelter and quest NFTs. And that's another NFT we can find is the quest NFT, right? And so
Yeah,
let's
yeah. The
maybe look at that.
refresh quest probably also refreshes skills, the skill uses of a hero, so you can directly spend 15 more quests and your skills to do one more round for the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up Discord right now so people can actually see the okay, here we're in the Discord right now. Here's the link to our stream right there with
Yeah.
the cool logo and stuff. So we're gonna go into patch notes, and you can see right away the big thing was this season, right? The balancing they did and how they nerfed all the flea skills. And so
Yeah, they
like
were trash.
yeah. And so now they've lowered the skill cost for them. How do you feel about them lowering it -2? Is that like good enough for you to maybe use flea skills?
Well, especially the teleport for the mage, it was 7, and now it's
Yeah.
5. Like 5 is a
Mhm.
regular skill. It's not like too costly to equip one use of teleport.
Mhm.
Run like the wind and pocket sand, there are like 6 skill points per one use. So I think they're viable, and especially probably if you travel to a new zone, you would like to equip one use of a flea skill
Mhm.
if you have it already, because a lot
I have
of
a lot of
heroes
teleports
learned
on
it.
too. I found so many teleports last season, and I was sitting there being like, "I hope they're useful at some point," right? The other thing that makes
Yeah,
me sad though, like, I'm pretty happy with that, but, like, he made Blade Form Parry +1 skill point, and I'm like, "Oh, bro,
yeah,
that's like
that was a big blow,
my
and
favorite one."
it's still viable, but yeah,
It's just
it
rough because the warrior had that one good skill, and then it got nerfed. I mean, there's other good ones, but, like, Blade Form Parry to me was, like, just a lot better. Like, it was just for me and how I played. My model was like to go heavy defense, and if you go
Mhm.
heavy defense and use blade form parry, you're just straight up blocking their hits like constantly, like just for like they're
Yeah,
gonna do like
with the
nothing.
warrior, you don't have much options. Basically, there are not like some super damage skills that you
Right.
can burn
I
quickly the
feel like
boss
this is gonna
down.
make Warriors nerf now. They're gonna be like third place maybe because the Rangers got buffed, right? They're saying that the Ranger skills are getting
Hmm.
more crit.
Yeah,
Or
but
sorry.
warrior, except from blade form parry, there are not that many nerfs. So
Mhm.
basically, I don't think there is anything else. Master Blow is a bit buffed, and it is not by
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm
Rep-
highlighting that. It did get buffed because people weren't really using that one.
Mhm.
I really like the
Uh,
Warriors a lot because I like to be able to not die, but I mean that's just my thing. So
yeah, Riposte is buffed. The
mhm.
rounds are increased by 1 round additional
I
to
was the
have
person
this
that was
effect.
pushing for this riposte to get buffed, and I even had JB thinking about making it for the whole match possibly because he said that that's originally what they were thinking of making it, and then they made it 2, and so now it's 3, which makes it a lot better, right? So this could potentially be maybe an A tier or B tier skill now.
Yeah, but I don't think there are many changes to the warrior. So basically, almost everything stays the same. We can assume that the equipment is the same. So it seems that the Warriors will be still solid in season 3.
Well, I feel like riposte might be good to have because, like, say for example, you had like my style of playing where I have heavy defense, but like if I want to have my crit increased, I could use this instead of blade form parry. So maybe I have like 3 blade form parries and like 2 ripostes or something, right?
Right. And how much was the cost of this skill? Let me quickly look. Because the skills that they got, it's like 5 skill points for 1 use. So it's like a normal amount of skill points, normal
Bob
cost.
says that Master Blow now does 0.5 more damage.
Well, I did some. I
So
did
Bob
some.
Nothing, his power just came back on. Hold on, Bob. Are you in the Sentinel chat? Here, Bob, I'm gonna send you are you in the Sentinel chat? Let's see. I think you are. But I put a link in there if you want to come on here and talk to us. But Repo's still worse than Dexterous Hands, I think, but closer. Well, right, but Dexterous Hands is for isn't that for a Ranger?
It's for level 4, and it is with 3 skill points per use.
Dexterous Hands. Well, actually, you know what? Let me bring up the tier list real quick. We'll just look at it real fast. Because we all made this tier list. And so I'm looking at the tier list right now. Dexterous Hands. Oh yeah, is that Warrior or Ranger?
It's for a Ranger.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Ranger. For some reason, because it's a red background, it makes me feel like it's a Warrior. I don't know why. But anyways. But overall tier list stuff, that's cool and great. But I'm just thinking about for a Warrior, like, what do you want to have on your Warrior, right? So like maybe riposte now is like decent because there are a couple times when like blade form parry wasn't enough and I just could never hit the dude for very much. And I wish I had like some kind of offensive buff. And so now that riposte goes for 3 rounds, I feel like it's kind of worth having now, just in case you're in a fight where you could have, some blade form parry, some riposte. I feel like that's actually a pretty good setup where you have that flexibility.
Yeah, and some skills will be good for boss. Others will be good just to clear the normal monsters in the zone. So,
what's your favorite like buff to the actual skills here? Are there any that you see that you
sniper?
think
Sniper.
Sniper.
I actually sniped 2 sniper skills from the market. They were like $7 or $8 each. And
Let's go look right now. Let's go look. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go up and see right now.
I really like the chance to hitting flat, chance to hit bonus till the end of combat with 10%. And what actually both Warrior and Ranger are missing is to hit consistently. And this is really nice buff to the skill and to the Ranger. Because you can equip only 1 sniper. It costs
there's only one for sale right now for $64.
Oh my god!
What?
It's also level 15 skill. It should be rare.
Well, that's the thing is that people might complain about this game or the strategy wise, but if you are paying attention and showing up like right now, or like when like things are like happening, like Bob's showing up. What's up, Bob? Like you're gonna get alpha and you can go in and snipe stuff, right? In the other NFT projects, that's their whole reason for existing is sniping and getting the edge and doing whatever. Here, you have a chance to do it, and like Bob's taking all your snipes, bro. Bob, did you get any snipes?
I got no snipes.
It's even called sniper. I know, Kung Fu.
Dude, I got obliterated by a thunderstorm.
So you were out of electricity. I was sitting here trying to make content, and I remade the promo video. And even Kung Fu was joining me where he's like, Doug, it takes a lot of work to play the game with all these heroes and then make content. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to me. I'm like, I know. Like I'm like, I wanted to go live like 4 hours ago, and I spent that much time just making small alterations to the promo video, right? But you got to do it. We got to have a season 3 promo video that features you on it, because I don't know if you watched it.
Oh, word. Like, I missed it.
Oh, you know what? Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive Web3 game modeled after Dungeons & Dragons. With just 15 moves a day, you must find the right balance to navigate each zone and climb the leaderboard. In the meantime, you can also find NFTs that will bolster your chance to win or can be traded to other players.
Lots to do. You understand.
Season 2 gave out over $12,000 in prizes. And now in Season 3, we have Choose Your Own Adventure, new quest NFTs, and a smelter. Sure you're ready for Season 3 by picking up an NFT hero via the secondary market on OpenSea. Will you be our Season 3 champion? Check out our website, dragonscrossing.com, for more information. Let's go! All right, there it is, Bob. There was your little PFP.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome video.
I was in the chats being like, hey, I need some PFPs, and I was like, I'll just go steal them from the Twitters. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to give you credit for being the champion. I don't know what everyone else is doing, but I'm going to give you credit, okay?
I appreciate that. I'm on the iPad right now, so I don't have my PFP uploaded. I'm not turning back.
That's fine. Well, you know, I almost, because I totally slipped my mind that Kung Fu is number 3, and I would have put him in the bottom and him crying that he didn't make it in the first place. That was really funny. Yeah, he's like, I spent all this time and streaming and I got 3rd place. But also he did it with just like a not good mage with base skills, right? Like got 3rd place. So that's pretty amazing story though.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. So, Bob, what was your secret to be getting in 1st place? Can you just tell us a little bit about the hero that got 1st place and like basically what you think landed you that spot?
Yeah, that was a late entry of late register because I bought it.
How many days late?
Like 5 or 6.
Okay, so
I bought
for
it
people
off the
to
market.
know.
That's Josephina. I think she has pretty good stats, like mid 40s.
Yep.
But all she knows is haste, and haste and fireball was all you needed last season.
That is true. So I'm making a screenshot of this. So Josephina was registered like in day 5 or 6 and still got 1st place, tied for 1st place, and only used the base skill and haste. That's a smart move though, because haste is a really powerful skill, and that's kind of my thing is always like especially if you have a good base skill, if you get one really good other skill, it can be really good. But was there anything during the game though that you thought you got an advantage, like any like decision making in the game or like strategy that you had?
Yeah. So the guy actually number 5 is also mine, Derek Rawlings, and that's my super jacked mage.
Yeah.
That's like a 52 pointer with Ice Tome and like it's got like 6 skills, and he's
very
awesome.
Nice.
And the difference basically between those two was Josephina found the herbalist really quickly.
Right.
Because those are what I tracked, was finding herbalists and finding Adventurers Guild on tile 3. So she found them really quickly, whereas my other mage, Derek, like really struggled to find the Adventuring Guild in tile 3. So he had to go all the way back home. I didn't want to do the thing where you just kind of like are ready to level up and then just pray to hit the Adventurers Guild. So I got in a bad spot with him. So that was basically the difference between those two. Even though he had better skills and better stats, she did better because she found the Adventurers Guild very quickly.
In my experience, what happens in the game is the players that find the tiles quickly then get sacrificed and ritualistically killed real fast. That's just my heroes, right? If I go into a zone and after like 2 or 3, the herbalist pops up, next thing you know, I fight a monster and they just like crit me 7 times in a row just to like, make sure I don't get too excited. Well, so that's a balance.
There is a rule of thumb: if there is a chance to not get experience, if you get a too lower level monster, it's time to go to the next zone.
And that's the thing too, is that's like the risk reward and all that stuff, right? Okay, so that's cool to know about your guys. Is that and also, all right. So now let's go back and let's look at the new things for season 3, because another big thing. So the thing we were just talking about, obviously, is that
Sniper. That's what that's the last thing I heard before I got on.
We're talking about
AKA Ranger Haste. Hello, let's go.
Hasty. Yeah. Sniper's great. Hasty Wish, I think, got like a little bit of a debuff, maybe.
Yeah, I think it used to have 25% flat to hit.
Yeah, now it's 15.
That's still great.
Well, it's funny because JB told me hints at what he was going to do, and I was going to make a video and tell people, but then he just flat out in these notes told us pretty much all of it, which is great. So now we can go and buy up all these skills in the market, and like people, and like that's the thing. If you want scarcity in an NFT market, then you got to know what the skills are that are good so that people can buy them. Otherwise, people get confused, and then it's a whole cycle of people not buying because they're just always confused all the time of what they should do. And then by the time they figure it out, it's almost like too late or something, right? So, yeah, I was gonna go get a sniper, but bro, like the floor on snipers, because he sniped them, I know Kung Fu. There's one for like $60 and it's like it or something. Like there's only one there. And I think I might have sniper on one on my guys. I'm not sure. But I have lots of magic missiles. I'll tell you that. I got like 2 or 3 of them just sitting there. And but yeah, we were just saying that, like, for me and my warriors, I might do a combo of like rendering blow not rendering blow, the oh, my light went out. Of maybe repost with Blade Form Parry, which actually got nerfed. So
yeah, I think Blade Form Parry is still really good. I think
it's my favorite skill. That's why JB nerfed it. That's only he cares about. All he cares about is like nerfing things I like. Okay,
that does seem like a personal affront to you.
As a person, just like he was like, Doug, I'm gonna actually
that one skill out.
I'm gonna buff the skills. The flea skills that you told me, because I like for like a week, right? I was berating him. I'm like, fix the damn flea skills, and then he's like, oh, I will do that, but also I'll just nerf the things you like.
Yeah, I still think the Blade Form Parry Berserk combo is really good.
Yeah, Berserk did help me. At the end, I made that video at the last second with like 10 minutes left in the season to try to beat him with like a couple heroes. And Berserk saved my butt because I wasn't hitting him hard enough, even with like Blade Form Parry, I think. Or no, I didn't Blade Form Parry. I think I had Thunderous Bellow or something. But without Berserk, I would have probably lost because it had me crit him like a couple times in a row for like 45 or something.
Yeah, and these damage skills, I haven't quite run all the numbers. I ran the numbers on Mastered Blow in chat. So it doesn't say Mastered Blow's cost got altered. So It's still 7 points. And it used to be 2d6 plus strength divided by 5, which is 7 plus 1/5 of your strength. And now it's 3d4, which is 7.5 plus. So it got half a point of damage more. That's how it got buffed. Yeah, come on, JB.
It's not a buff at all.
It's not a buff at all.
I actually sent the calculations, high-level calculations I did, and I'm not sure if it's visible. It's a screenshot of my spreadsheet, but I can tell you which
you can share it if you want to or whatever. But like, yeah, it's
okay. Let's try to share it.
Magic Missile got nerfed as well, by the way. It's even worse.
It's worse. Yeah.
It's worse. I just looked at the old one because I have my old one. It used to be a D8 plus Wisdom divided by 6, which was 4.5 plus Wisdom divided by 6. And now it's 3D4, which is 7.5 plus Wisdom divided by 8. So it'll be probably better at like
early
level 4. But you'd rather cast Firebolt anyways. I think it's still probably the worst skill in the game. Good job, JB.
Well,
do you see my screen?
JB fan club, just in case you didn't know. It's called the Doug Hype Show / JB fan club. So he is working hard right now, that guy. He's running the whole show while Motor's on vacation. And but we got to give him a hard time and send him some more.
I'm not sure he's too good at this D6 math, but that's okay.
Here's not. Maybe we should give him a calculator for his birthday. So so Fireball, did they get nerfed here? Is it now for 2 rounds instead of 3? What's the difference here?
It did.
Yeah.
It's slightly nerfed.
It's still really good, but it's definitely worse.
It's good, but it's worse. It's not the super broken skill that we had the previous season.
Right.
Actually, I'm sharing, but I don't see.
Here, I'm going to share it now.
Okay. Can you? This is like a really high level math on the top. I'll try to zoom in.
Yeah, if you can zoom, that'd be helpful.
Okay, let's see. We have on the top the thresholds like 20 wisdom, 25, 35, and so on. And here the minimum, maximum, average damage, and average damage per skill point.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Firebolt, like end game. If you want to see here at 70, it does 5 damage per skill point.
Right.
And the highest damage skill, the Firebolt, does 7.6 nearly damage per skill point. And basically, these are the top 2 for the mage. And you can see the magic missile with lousy 2.5.
Wait, so what is the difference with Fireball? Fireball is more than Firebolt now?
It was like that the previous
Right.
season as well.
It's really good now,
just
I think.
takes a lot of time to do the full damage. It needs 4 rounds to do the damage over time.
The Fireball. Okay.
The Fireball, yeah. And there are some there's practically no change for custom poisons. It does really nice damage, almost as good as Firebolt.
Mhm.
By the way. And
Yeah.
and
I think mages are still pretty good.
and I see here a buff for the barb projectile.
Yeah, nice.
Which should be really well. The Rangers were doing great in the early zones, anyways, and this would help them do even better, in my opinion.
And improvised trap looks pretty good. Was it changed at all? It looks like it's the same.
No, it's the same. It's just before that at 50 agility, it started doing a bit better damage than barb projectile from the previous season. And now you can see it's much higher. Like you need 60 agility to do better damage with improvised trap than barb projectile because of the buff of barb projectile. Insidious Distraction, it's still trash.
It got a little better, right? What did it
do?
do?
Little better, but if they lowered the skill points per use to 5, probably
so it does a little bit more damage. But yeah, that skill was so bad last season.
So if it was 5, it would be almost it would be the same damage as improvised trap and barb projectile, but it's like instant.
Yeah, I'm surprised they buffed barb projectile. I thought they'd go the other way.
Well, it was good enough actually, and and basically with the ranger you don't need an actual damage skill. You may get custom poisons later in the game, but I think if you get improvised trap, if you have nice strength for your ranger, I am
because it does armor mitigation debuff for
and armor mitigation blocks a really big part of your damage, especially some beefy bosses in zone 4 and 5. Even these wary adventurers and golems in zone 5, they're mitigating tons of damage, and this would help you finish them quicker before they can take more of your health points as well. So I'm liking improvised trap and some variation of a build for a ranger that uses strength.
I tried to put in on my guys.
Those are my best 2 rangers. That we kind of called that out before the season started. I had a good one with wisdom that had sly evasion, and then I had a second ranger that did really well, like top 25 with improvised trap and dexterous hands. I thought they were good together, and they seem to be untouched for this season, so they'll be good again.
Yeah, if you're leveling strength, dexterous hands gets benefit from that as well.
Yeah.
I got myself, well, how many rangers? 3 rangers down here. Oh, look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn, my favorite is a ranger.
Usually I also, when I see my rangers, these are my Genesis rangers, and this one was the one that killed Abaddon first. So she has improvised trap because she has 10 strength and she doesn't have much wisdom. Charisma is no good on a ranger, so you need to level quickness to flee and your primary stat, of course, and then you need one more to put the extra points. So if I see, let's say, a ranger like this, I'm going with agility, strength, and quickness. So
Yep.
and to improvise trap and dexterous hands is nice on in such cases.
Yeah, that's how I built some of my good rangers last season for sure.
I think I'm going to do that this year. I think I'm going to go with that. I really like improvised trap. That's been one of my favorites.
And it's strange that this is not like some super special skill, but it is very scarce on the market.
Yeah, not
I
easy to
may
get.
I may start trading some stuff for it. And you can see here, this is like a damage wise, a damage per skill point. I'll try to zoom up a little bit more.
Yeah, I can see that. That's good to know. Yeah, there you go.
So fireball, firebolt, and then custom poisons. It's the ranger damage skills are pretty good,
Yeah.
and then warrior skills, they're basically unchanged.
They're bad.
So I think even thirst for blood may be better even than master blow because it does relatively the same damage, very slight variation, but
Well,
basically the same damage,
yeah.
and you have a chance for a heal if you finish the monster with the like a finishing blow of thirst for blood. And
Yeah,
overhand chop is still solid, the same damage.
Yeah, we saw a bunch of the heal skills get sold today too, which I thought was interesting. And I think Thirst for Blood will come a little after, but I'm guessing that the thought behind heal skills being better this season is the alternate path has the qualifier where you get teleported back to Eidos
Right.
from Cocytus if you end the fight with 20% health or whatever. So if you have heal skill loaded in zone 3 and 4, which is kind of when you want them anyways, you can kind of work around that debuff.
It's really interesting. I think it's a good move that they made in a lot of these areas where like you have to like have a bonus or a detraction and it actually helps like sell skills. So that's good to see. That's actually really great. I like heal skills a lot on certain heroes. Like there's certain heroes where heal skills. And I remember in this season too, people started buying heal skills because they all of a sudden they realized, oh wait, I really need them at the like, you know, once they got to a new zone or something.
Zone 4. Yeah, they were really I that was my thought. And for season 2, they were exclusively really, really good in zone 4 and pretty medium everywhere else.
That's really good to have that. That's a really super good alpha there with all the skills and the amount that they do for hits. Well, and also in that calculation though, he didn't have like repost and warrior skills because repost has, you know, some damage built into it along with well, it increases hero crit. Sorry, it's not really a damage one, so that's probably why it's not in there, right?
Yeah, that got an extra turn, which was good. Because I think that was the worst non-flea skill last season. I tried really hard to repost and beat Abaddon with this stupid warrior, and I ended up just bailing on it and loading all grapples instead because it was just unplayable.
The floor is $11 for repost right now. I feel like I might want to buy one. There's a bunch of them down there for that price.
I think it's still bad.
Well, the thing though that I like about it, I was talking about earlier, is that like especially with Blade Form Parry getting a little bit debuffed, that like there's some times when I just need a little bit of help with my warrior hitting in his attack. So like I could load up like some Blade Form Parries and some repost depending on like the battle. You know what I mean? Because sometimes for some reason I'll fight Abaddon and like I just always hit him for like 8 over and over again. I'm like, what's happening? Just in case.
He's armor mitigating, and if you have rending blow, it would be more. I think rending blow is really a nice skill for a warrior. You on bosses, on monsters that mitigate a lot of damage. Rending blow is going to increase your damage output much better because it's for the whole fight rather than trying to crit when you may not hit at all.
Right. That's true. But just kind of the overall point though is I think that warriors are going to need some help. They were the best in the first season, and the second season they're okay, and now they're kind of getting debuffed a bit. And like the buffs they get to their skills this year are not that great of help. And then we got the ranger who actually got a boost just to the hero themselves, right? So do you guys think rangers might end up being like close to mages this season?
The notes say that the ranger has more of a chance, or I think everybody has more of a chance for a critical hit based on agility now, and everybody has less dodge based on wisdom now. So that seems
Yeah,
that is a debuff to the mages, which I think is good because the mage was far and away the best for skills last
Yeah,
season, and
right.
they didn't really get debuffed that much. So
No.
maybe they have a lot less dodge this season. Maybe you can't get to 50% dodge as easily as you could last time, which would be a significant debuff to them. But we don't really know the specifics of that.
We got a request in the audience here. It says, "Can you give some noobs some builds that can help them play well?" And it's a controversial topic because a lot of people get mad. They're like, "Don't give them builds because then they're like going to make it easier for people and blah 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 because it's a competitive game, right?" But the thing is, if you listen to what we're saying,
let's do it. Let's give
I don't
a
think like
build
that.
for every class.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, it's fine with
I
me.
can start. I
Go-
think
yeah.
warriors, they have two paths, two viable builds. One
Mhm.
build is to go the healing path. It is based on second wind skill. You need to have it in order to pull this off, and you can level up strength, then wisdom, and quickness, so you'll be able to flee. The other viable build for warriors is the persuade build, as I tell it, and it is strength, then prioritize charisma and quickness for fleeing. I think these are two for the warrior. The mage, they have only one build, and it is really simple and really solid. Wisdom, charisma, and quickness.
Yeah.
And it is the question how much you prioritize quickness or charisma. Obviously, if you want to do more damage with the firebolt and fireball, you need to emphasize on charisma, but you need also quickness to flee the battles, or maybe with the reduced cost of the teleport skill at 5 skill points, you may use that instead of quickness to flee. But the other thing is that if you want to utilize haste the best, it scales really nice with wisdom and quickness. You may easily get 30% flat chance to hit, which is huge, and you need to prioritize quickness.
So, the build from season 2 for a mage, that's really easy because we talked about that earlier. Firebolt and haste. Like Firebolt's already a skill that you start with.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're brand new to the game and you get and you just buy a mage, you're already like good to go with Firebolt. Like you don't even have to do a whole lot, and you just look at it and say like, okay, I need wisdom and charisma for that, and then also quickness is really good to have for being able to flee and everything, and So, and it also helps with haste. So that's pretty like super easy build for a mage. And then you can
And
do other
budget build, you don't need any other skills.
Yeah, that's like the easy set it and forget it. Just get Firebolt and haste. I have a haste on a couple of my mages. And of course, if you end up getting Ice Tomb or Fireball or Hasty Witch, that's cool. And then if you're gonna get a ranger, custom poisons is their like most deadly thing. So you'd wanna like obviously agility is the main stat. And then
And sniper too now.
and
I think
sniper
it's right up there. I think with
Yeah.
and
Snipers
improvised
is
trap
really-
has strength. We just talked about that. So like strength, agility, and quickness.
Well, rangers, they have much more build paths, and it a bit depends on your character stats. If you have 10 strength and very low wisdom, we also already mentioned that with ranger you don't want to go with charisma because you're never going to persuade late game anything. If you have 10 charisma at level 1, like when you start with this stat,
Mhm.
you will be able to persuade monsters in the first zone easily, I think. So you don't need to put points on that. You will get the advantage in the first zone. In order to get persuade relatively more consistently in the higher zones, you need to invest a lot of points there. And charisma doesn't give you any fighting chance against a fighting advantage against Abaddon in the end. So I think rangers should focus on agility, then one of the two stats, wisdom or strength, which will be based on what skills they want to use, improvised trap or some evasion healing skills. And quickness, they get naturally one quickness every other level. So if you put just a few points now and then in quickness, you will be fairly good to escape if you need to.
And the agility gear tends to buff quickness as well too, so
Yeah,
you don't need that many points.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that like each hero also gets like a class bonus in certain levels that when you level up too, right?
Yeah, warrior gets +3 hit points. The mage gets +1 charisma and 1 hit point, and the ranger gets 1 hit point and 1 quickness.
So that's helpful to know. And then sorry,
I
go ahead.
agree with that. I think you're right for sure about the mage being kind of the easiest to build. Like it's really good skills. It's level 15 skills. Don't really ask much of you. They're just going to be good if you can get them based on your wisdom and charisma. You don't really want to build strength for drowls or like mage armor or force armor rather.
Yeah, or agility. I tried
You
agility
don't want to do
build.
that. Yeah, I
It
agree.
was horrendous. You don't have any damage, and you don't take damage, but you cannot kill anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ray of Frost was like one of their best skills in season 1, but it was bad last season. It's going to be bad this season too. So mage is pretty straightforward. I would the only thing I would disagree. I agree about the ranger as well, but I would disagree about the warrior. I think the quickness warrior is right up there with the wisdom warrior. I think those are the two paths. I think the charisma warrior is actually quite bad. I think the debuff to the parry is really bad from season 1 to season 2, and it was just not very good. Thunderous
you
Bellow.
mean Thunderous Bellow?
Yeah, I don't think it's very good.
Right.
I like
I like
high
Berserk
charisma.
so much better.
I like high charisma because of the buff of Thunderous Bellow and because of the persuade with a warrior. And if you manage to persuade a couple of times for 15 quests, this is like free experience without spending any health or other skills to that's why I like it. And but I can agree that the quickness build is another option. So strength, and then you're prioritizing quickness because berserk and
Blade form.
even Thunderous Bellow skills with or another skill I don't
No,
remember.
blade form parry.
Yeah, blade form parry skills with quickness as well.
Yeah, so I think there's 3 pretty distinct warrior builds, and then 2 distinct warrior builds, and then mostly just 1 mage. So that's interesting.
So, Bob, what do you think is your favorite warrior build? Is it like agility for running blow? Like, what are your third?
No, I like the quickness. I did the best with my berserk warriors last season.
Well, no, I'm assuming that we have quickness. I'm quickness and
no, but I'm saying that's what I want to focus on.
Yeah, okay, but if you play a warrior, if you play a warrior and you want to use only starter skills, which path are you going to go? Because a lot of new players are going to join in season 3, and they will have just the basic skills. They will not know if they will find something or if they want to pay. So let's talk about budget heroes and budget builds. We talked about the mage. It is really straightforward. You go wisdom, charisma, and quickness, and you bet on firebolt, which would be solid, I think. And for warrior, what is your opinion?
Warrior, I'm going max strength, the rest in quickness, and then it depends on if I start with a high. See, I guess it's agility. Yeah, I guess it's agility
for the extra damage for grapple.
Yes, but I actually like agility for the end game bosses because they parry so much more. Like if you're just a basic warrior, you can actually, that's what I did. I actually beat the boss quite efficiently with like a 305 or 306 quest, warrior with no skills, who just grappled Abaddon, and he focused his gear to not be focused on parry. He was instead focused all on armor mitigation and armor mitigation amount. So I didn't really care that I was hurting myself that much. But you
And
could
dodge.
really, you could really feel, it on Abaddon, because I think these late game bosses, the sub boss and Abaddon, both had a lot of parry, so you could really hurt him with grapple.
Okay,
So
and
I
the
guess I would
ranger,
focus
it's
on that.
left. We can, let's say, share a strategy for a ranger if you have only starter skills. And ranger has nice starter skills, and one of them scales with wisdom. So
Projectile.
you may, if you have a ranger with high wisdom, you can go
Right, herbal knowledge.
agility, wisdom, and quickness.
Yep, I agree with that. And if you have a really low wisdom, I don't think herbal knowledge is that great. So you can just go more quickness just to make, because even if you maximize your quickness, it's never like deterministic with the way the formula is. So it doesn't hurt you to put more points in there. And I think you'll be fine
And
just loading as many bar projectiles as possible, because I don't think herbal knowledge was that good that season, to be honest.
Alan has a sad warrior. He only has 4 quickness on his 16th straight warrior. Well, gonna have to put a lot of quickness in there, buddy. Well, those are some.
I had 5 quickness on my mage that ended third last season. He had 15 wisdom and 5 and 4 all other stats, and he was third. So if you have nice RNG, some nice non-combat encounters can buff your stats a bit as well. So yeah, that's possible.
Also, magic missiles are a really good skill. You should buy it from me. Anybody that's out there that's looking for a skill.
Nah, don't listen to him.
Don't listen.
It's trash.
Look, I've got a whole like treasure trove of magic missiles, bro.
I had high hopes. I had like 4 or 5.
You know, and
JB
kept hinting that magic missile is going to get buffed too, and then it got buffed for like almost nothing. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so bad. I'm starting to doubt his math skills.
Well, that's the thing. JB likes his math skills. We disagree with him, but it's okay. So we'll just give him some cookies in the mail, maybe some exploding cookies, and so yeah, that's the thing. And like, you know, Master Blow, these things that we see that were supposedly buffed or whatever, I don't think that there's gonna be much different.
I think these bottom 2 tiers, I don't think anything got buffed out of them.
No, they're still here. Well, repost I think is better now because it goes for 3, so that might be like into the maybe tier.
I don't know.
No, it's 5. It's 3 turns,
it's
but it's 5 cost.
Yeah, it's 5. So it's a better version of Dexterous Hands, but it costs 40% more. So
that's true. It does.
I don't think it's good.
So what is the best? Oh man, we'll do a tier list tomorrow,
the biggest buff was Sniper. I think that was the one who became.
But I just mean that's great to know. But I mean for Warrior. So are we thinking Blade Form Parry and Berserk is like
nothing changed for Warrior except Blade Form Parry got nerfed a bit. So everything else is basically the same.
I'm just not happy about my Warriors right now. I'm really not, like, because of these changes.
Maybe the Wisdom Warrior will be a little better in the alternate path because you can heal yourself really well during zones 3 and 4, and that might be good.
We can talk more about these mechanics in the new zones and the changes.
Yeah, so let me bring that up real quick, and I will bring this
because we covered more or less the skills, the builds. If anybody watching this has any other questions, we will be glad to switch to them. But we can check the new zone mechanics. We can see that if you got below 20% hit points, you'll be teleported to Eidos. And in zone 3, we have a healer So the chance that this happens is low, I may say.
Mm-hmm.
And in zone 4, we don't have a healer, but worst case scenario, you get teleported. Okay, worst case scenario, you die, but if you don't die and you're very low,
I
you'll
mean,
get
that's really
teleported to
bad.
yeah, you'll get teleported to Eidos.
That's
And
really bad.
basically, you're going to lose only one quest more to travel from Eidos to Zone 3 to heal there, because if you survive at 1 HP, you're going to go using the tile to navigate to Zone 3. You'll spend one quest to go back. And if you got teleported to Eidos, you spent two quests to go to Zone 3. So in one case, you're spending one more quest in Zone 4.
Right, because it's 3 total to get all the way back to Zone 4.
So
Yeah,
I would say, as an addendum, I don't think we know that the tiles will mirror the main path and the alternate path.
That's
so
true.
We might not necessarily have a healer in Zone 3. We might not necessarily have a camp in Zone 4.
In 3-1. In 3-1, you mean?
Right.
Yes.
Like, so it could be different. So we're just going to have to wait and see. That's going to be the fun of it. But getting teleported from Zone 4 to Eidos is a disaster.
It could be
and
really
there is a hidden non-combat encounter if you go to the alternative path. If you get the Sphinx, both like the options could reduce your health. One of the options reduces to 1%. This is guaranteed trip to Eidos. And the other option reduces your health by 20%. And in some cases, it may result in a trip to Eidos. So the Sphinx in the alternative zone may be like cocytus a bit.
The Sphinx sucks so bad. I think, like secretly, I think the Sphinx was right up there with Cocytus as the worst NCE last season, and now it's the worst by a lot. It's
totally.
really bad. It's all bad.
We don't know if there is a Sphinx, but we're assuming that everything stays the same. The only thing...
I assume that stuff that he doesn't mention in patch notes works the same. So I would assume the Sphinx works the same.
I only doubt about the orb if it will stay the same, because you can always leave it. And when you left previously, the orb, it sometimes gives you refund of the quest, but now it's not taking a quest non-combat encounter, so you can just spam to touch the orb and get the difficulty to hit bonus if you're lucky, and not do the other one.
I changed it.
Orb.
I don't know, man.
Berries can also reduce your health. Berries, you remember? So if you eat the berry, if you're a low percent, you eat a berry, like hoping for a heal, you may get a trip to Eidos if you're...
you would do a middle one in that one, because that one's either 8% or nothing happens.
Yeah.
So
but if you want the big heal, you want to eat all the berries for 15%.
Yeah, I think the alpha for this season, if I have to say anything that is kind of swirling around in my head, is there's going to be a lot of RNG. I'm not convinced that the orb is going to work differently, which makes the orb extremely good, because all these NCEs now are like in addition to a fight, so it's like a different grading scale. So like an orb before, you never wanted to see an orb before. You had like a 66 or 60 or 50% chance of getting a quest back, which is almost always what I did, by the way. But now it's all good.
Right.
Like, you kill a guy and then you get an orb and you have a 50% chance at getting another quest back. That's amazing. And Cocytus,
if it works the same.
If it works the same, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
I mean, they might take that out there because you're not using the quest now. So
I don't know, maybe. But Cocytus,
maybe it's a bug.
I think Cocytus is now the best encounter to get, by the way.
Yeah, because you can get good things
because it gives you an XP 90% of the time. I think
And
that's
it will offset even
huge.
if he sends your hero back
I mean,
one
he is a
time.
wizard. He should try to help at least a little bit. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a disaster if the 10%er hits you, but the 90%er is so good that I
Dude,
think
last
people are
season,
underestimating the RNG change because hitting Cocytus is a huge RNG buff instead of
I don't
debuff.
know about you guys, but I feel like Cocytus single-handedly ruined my rewards for my season. Like Zone 5, I was getting him like nonstop, like sending me back to Eidos like crazy.
You definitely did on some of my characters got wrecked.
A lot of players, I think, suffered the same thing. I got sent twice by the same hero in the same day.
Yeah, I've had that happen also to me.
Yeah, none of my good finishes got hit by him.
Even people with many heroes, as I played many heroes, I know Chief Maori also plays a lot of heroes. Other people as well, they felt the hit from Kukaitis really hard, because it seems to you that he sends all your heroes back to Eidos, but it is not that much.
Yeah.
But anyways,
that's just a logical fallacy. That's just people tend to remember the time where he sends you back and just completely ignore all the ones where he doesn't. So that's just
I didn't track it, but he sent me back every time I got him in Zone 5, like every single time.
If you say so, Douglas.
Like, no, seriously. If you go back and look in Discord, I'm constantly being like, whoa, my God.
I believe you're constantly complaining, but I believe that's because you pay no mind to the ones where he doesn't. But
it's not true.
What about the treasure box?
If he let me go in Zone 5 even once, I would have been like, thank you. I would have went in Discord and danced. If you hit...
What do you think about the other two encounters? The Gambler, it's like 100% do it, right?
Because I want to list to the tier list. So just FYI real quick though, guys, this tier list is from last season. It's not this season. Tomorrow we're going to make a new one, I think. So like I would not necessarily use that tier list right now, even though most of it's like 90% correct, right?
Yeah. I would say there's only a few big movers and shakers.
Yeah, I'll give you a link to the old tier list here for sure.
I'm thinking now that in this new zone, imagine that you get a treasure box. So you get one experience from killing the monster, you get one experience from the alternative zone, and you get 2 experience from the treasure box. So aren't you going to level up too quickly, and you have still tiles to discover, for example? And you cannot move on. You're already level that has a chance that you will not get the experience if you encounter lower level monster.
See, this is why I think the RNG is going to be just as heavy of a factor, if not more, this season. JB does say in the notes that XP required to level up has increased a bit due to more XP sources. But that part where you have a 50% chance of the extra XP and you have these non-combat encounters like the treasure and Cocytus and orb potentially, like highly impactful stuff like that, as well as like this environmental effect where you can get extra XP. I think it's going to be, if not the same, I think it's going to be more RNG than last season. That's my hot take.
And the monster, like Lovecraftian monster, when you try to talk yourself out, it can give you HP and charisma. If you try to run, it may give you...
Did you see this? Look, Alan got a fireball. He bought unidentified skills, got a fireball.
Hey-o. Nice.
Fireball is really, really good.
Yeah, that's
the top damage skill at the moment.
That might be it might be the best skill now, I think. It might be up there.
What is Leaderboard talking about? If you hit Sphinx as an NNC after combat in 3-1 or 4-1, I don't think Cocytus comes into play. But I'm not sure what that means.
Our point was that if your health point is reduced to 1%, basically Cocytus comes and teleports you in Eidos.
So the way
Okay.
it's worded, it says Caucasus will teleport you at the top of the screen. It says Caucasus will teleport you back to Eidos in these zones 3.1 and 4.1 if you fall below 20% after combat. So I think
Right.
she's saying that you have a check for that after combat, and then you have an NCE. And maybe if you get hurt by the NCE, it's not going to teleport you. It
Right.
depends.
I get it now. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
Um,
If this is how it works, there is really big difference between both like variations, how this is actually working, and it is a nice question probably to ask.
Yeah,
That is
it's
good
gonna
to
be
think
really
about.
it's gonna be really fun exploring these two new zones. I can't wait. By the way,
So,
Okay, if you have 10 heroes, if you play 10 heroes, how much are you going to put on the alternative path and how much on the old like path that we all know? Like what would be the ratio, or have you thought about that?
so I'm gonna start off on day one with about a third of my heroes, and I'm gonna put them all on the new path to explore. And then I'm gonna have my second fleet of about a third of my heroes going 3 days after, and then the last of my heroes going 3 days after that. That's kind of my plan. But I want to just explore. It might not be optimal. It might be optimal to watch Kung Fu stream instead of doing it myself, but I just want to explore the content. So that's what I'm going to do. And if I think that the alternative path is worse, I will definitely be going on the old path that I know really well at this point with my second and third fleet if I think it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
My idea was to like benchmark with two groups, maybe in ratio 2 to 1. For example, sending 2 heroes in the new alternative path and 1 into the old path, and in the end, I will compare when they finish these two zones 3 and 4 to see who is further ahead, the ones that went through the alternative or the old path. And I will have heroes waiting even then for these pilgrims to finish exploring, and then I will start my expedition to like going through the whole progress with them. And at least this is my plan. I want to make sure to empirically compare both ways, and probably I'll need to it will not be like 2 heroes in the new zone, 1 hero in the old one. Probably I'll send like 4 or 5 heroes in the new zone and 3 in the old zone, so I'll get more realistic results in the end, like from the first wave, if we can call this explorer heroes.
yeah. I mean, that's the big alpha from last season too, is to try to send out a group of heroes and see what's up, and then like be able to use that information on the heroes you start later. And we saw that one of the heroes, right, was started like 5 or 6. You said that what the one of the ones that won, I think, right, Bobby? There's one that got in first place.
Yeah.
Real quick, let's just answer Gifts Shinobi's question. How skills are used. So basically during combat, we can't bring it up right now in the game because the game's not live. But in combat, what happens is that before you attack them, you can use a skill, and that skill is like a spell that's applied, whether you do damage or it could like affect things like through like 3 rounds in the battle or the whole battle, depending. But then you can also attack them. So it's an additional thing that you can do on top of your normal attack. And that's why the skills are valuable and really great, because they don't detract anything. They only add things, but you can only use so many skills per day. They all have skill points. And so like you only have so many skill points. And as you level up, you get more. So that's why you have to kind of decide what you want to do. And often people save them till really hard battles or to the end of the day to make sure they just don't need them from the, to save them from dying. But boss battles is where they really are super, super important. Like at the end boss, Abaddon, because it's really hard to beat him without skills on especially if your character is not powerful, depending on your item drops.
Yeah, equipment is also very important. I want to add that usually the skills that do damage, this is unmitigated damage as well. So
Right.
the monster or the boss, it just gets the damage, and it doesn't matter how much defenses it gets.
Well, let's explain to him in simple terms. So, like when you're fighting, your enemy has armor, and there's armor mitigation, all this stuff. The percentage chance of what armor is going to be used, or them like being able to parry stuff. When you do spell damage or skill damage, they can't block it, right? It's like unmitigated. So like that's what makes it really powerful, is because in your normal attacks they can block you and straight up dodge you, but they can't do that if you put a skill. If you use a skill. 3.1. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that. So my own thing I would add, Shinobi, in terms of strategy, like they were saying, it becomes extremely important in Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5. That's when you start getting boss fights that you have to do. And that's when you want to spam skills like basically every round for that fight to just get out of there alive. But before then, and when you're just like not doing boss fights and when you're leveling up, you want to use your skills to be efficient. You want to use your skills. Once you see the enemies that you're doing, there'll be like a higher tier and a lower tier of enemies in each zone. And you generally want to use your skills, damage skills, against the higher tier enemies so that you can make those fights shorter and just deal damage to them and get them dead so that they can't do anything terrible to you. That's generally my strategy. That's a bit more advanced. You can't really get a good feel for that until you start playing. But once you see the mechanics of it, they're all good. They're free to use basically, and they're just extremely powerful. But they're very limited for uses in days. So you want to either use them on really tough enemies when you're farming, or just spam the hell out of a boss to get them dead.
And the thing is that like a huge part of the game is figuring this stuff out as you go, because no matter how much information, it's going to be tough. So it's good to ask these questions. It's smart for you to ask, and it's great to have these guys here to like help you out. And these are guys who are literally the top. Like, you know, Bob literally got first place, and Kung Fu got second place out of like hundreds and hundreds of heroes last season. So super insightful people here, and so that's the thing though, is like you will still get wrecked. You are going to get your butt kicked. Like you will have some random monster come in and just like smack the hell out of you and smack you all the way back to Eidos, and you'll be like, wait, what, bro? So even good players it happens to. So just be prepared.
Oh yeah, and I posted heroes that were trying really hard and beat the game at like quest 360, 370. Yeah. I had several of those that made $5 back. Just they were trying really hard, and I just failed. Like the builds were bad, my skills were bad, my strategy was bad, my RNG was bad, and then so
I think Professor had really nice strategy. He like decided to try hard with all his heroes, but the main point was that he will not invest like in his heroes further to learn new skills. So everything that he finds as an NFT, he sold it on the market, and we have a new NFT this season, which could help with the ROI of a hero. And also when he ranked up in the ladder, he was trying hard even without skills to do good in that regard. And I may be mistaken, but I think he was the one who did very nice return per hero from the ladder rewards, from the rewards pool. And on top of that, he sold really a lot of skill books, shards. So this was a nice strategy, and he did in general really good this season.
So let's just jump in real quick and say that the blacksmith is now also going to be having a smelter, and you can use your items that you don't want and turn them into the smelter to get a quest back. I think it's 10 items per quest. I think it is. Let's see. 10 items.
Yes.
Yes. For this,
I think this is a very interesting and good mechanic. I will wonder if any of the alternate zones have a smelter in them or a blacksmith. By the way.
Yeah, the thing is that
they said in the zone 4. In zone 441, there will be a blacksmith, and in Eidos.
Okay, so there's a second blacksmith in zone 41.
Well,
You can also buy items from the blacksmith in Zone 4. For example, if the chest steals your weapon and you don't
Right.
have another main
Or
hand.
or
When you say 4-1, do you mean Treacherous Peaks from last season, or do you mean the new
one.
the new
I
Zone
think
4?
both. I think both should
Well,
have the same
It
style
sounds
of
like they're
gameplay.
going to be similar because they basically said the difference between the zones is like the danger, whatever, like levels, right? But who knows?
The
They could,
mechanic. They
yeah.
said the monsters will be the same strength, the boss.
So there'll be a blacksmith in Zone 4 now, and at the blacksmith you can either get the items like before with one quest, or you can smelt. Is that what I understand?
I think I understood it this way.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, I think the smelter is really cool. I had when I was on a stream with Grady, I was kind of thinking when they just announced it, and I was wrong, but I was thinking out loud that if the new NFT gave you plus 15 quests, you could use it strategically in order to like use it in kind of inflection points where you have 3 or 4 quests left and you need to travel and heal and it sucks and you don't have any good options.
Mhm.
I think you can maybe think ahead if you have a smelter possibility and use it when you're going to have a good chance of getting stuck out without a healer,
Right.
or
Like
you
when
don't want to
you're
waste those travels, because that was a big thing that screwed up some of my characters and that I avoided a lot of my good characters, was having to travel and heal when you just didn't have any other options. And if you can kind of time your smelter uses based on that and look ahead a little bit and kind of save them for when you can see spots like that happening, I think that'll be interesting. I think that's a really interesting strategic point.
I'm going to translate this now for people, especially that are new. So like there's times during the day when you have like 4 quests left, but if you go back to heal and use all these, or like 3, and you go back to heal and then come back, you've used all the quests anyway. So it's just worthless. You know what I mean? So like those 3 quests are just wasted regardless. But if then you can use one of these NFTs or the smelter to give you more quests, then you can then, travel, heal, and then continue to
You can be efficient.
Yeah.
You can be efficient with your quests turning into XP, which is what you want.
And there's other situations like that, but that's just a super obvious one where like you're just losing 3 quests. That's like because the thing is, if you use them, they don't do anything, and then if you don't use them, they're still counted against you. So it's So though we need to figure out ways where you can do more strategy with these things as far as like how smart can you be, and then the people that can figure it out the best should win, right? The season. So
right. So the reason
more so than RNG.
And the reason this is a thing is because what he says about the smelter is those quests that you gain still count as your benchmarks, by the way. So it's not like you're getting 2 free quests and cheating against your thing, like the orb, basically. It's not like the orb. So those are counting. So you could have like a day, if you use 2 smelters and get rid of 20 items, your benchmark or your total quest will go up 17 for that day instead of 15.
Also, XP is going up in general to level up because there's going to be more XP given out, which is something that really irks me in games. They're like, well, we're going to give you more XP, but then we're going to make it more expensive to level up. And it's like, but then why are you even doing any of that? But that's apparently, I don't know what the level of like balance is. It might have only gone up a little bit. I don't know. Okay. Does your hero heal over time? Yeah. Every day your energy or your health refreshes, your XP, right? And then your skill points refresh every day. So say if you have 15 skill points on your hero that you can use and to use skills to fight guys. Skill points are kind of like your mana, right? You know what I mean? In games where they have like your health and your mana, you're like skill points are like your mana, your ability to use these skills and spells, right? And they refreshes every day. And what else refreshes every day? There's another
thing. Goes to full.
The what?
Your hit points go to full.
That's what I'm saying. Like your hit points, your health, and your skill points get refreshed. There's one more thing.
That's it, right?
There's another thing gets refreshed. But anyways, yeah, those 2 things get refreshed. There's another thing. My brain's tired. But anyways, basically things get refreshed every day. This game is built to like play 15 quests a day, and then it refreshes every 23 hours. So that's why there's like, strategy built into like being able to like purchase more quests or find more quests in the game. Because at the end of the day, if you have 3 quests left and you know that tomorrow is going to refresh you, but like you don't have enough moves to actually go heal and then come back and fight, they're just kind of wasted. If you can go back and heal, then you can actually use that to do stuff and you're not just kind of stuck, and it makes it a little bit more efficient for you. So like, yeah, if you have, it doesn't matter at the end of the day what you have, you're going to heal the full amount when you wake up the next day. This game is meant for you to play every day and come back with full health and full skill points. And yeah, so it's really cool that way. And also the NFTs that you buy, that you find, there's going to be a tile called camp, and you have to click on that camp in order to make those NFTs like go to the blockchain and actually go into your wallet. So the thing is, though, that if you camp, you're done for the day and you lose all the quests. So the strategy is you want to camp right at the end when you used all your quest up. But you might be in a zone where there's no camp. So then you have to actually use a quest to move. So everything has strategy in the whole game. There's nothing. Your brain's going to be tired.
Yeah, there's a learning curve for sure. And, watching Kung Fu stream will help you a lot. Watching Grady, stuff like that.
Yeah, watching people stream. I'll be streaming too, and we'll be doing a thing tomorrow, maybe like a tier list or something, and talking more about this stuff. But the thing about it, Shinobi, that's really great is when you play, there's the Discords right there, and you can go in and ask questions. And when you're playing the game, you can pause the game for like an hour and ask questions about it and just come back later. Even in the middle of a battle, if you just stop and don't do anything and even just close out your browser, it's still there when you go back, right? You just want to make sure that you go back before the game resets, like at the end of the day. Okay, so let's look and see the travel tiles. And this is the thing. So now travel tiles are going to be discovered after 5 moves instead of whatever 13. So if there's these zones where you have 2 travel tiles because of the split, like 4 and 4.1, you might find them at the same time. And just so you know that, like, they're saying that, like, when they appear, you might not see both of them, like, when they, like, get, like, revealed, but they'll still be there. And then, always be in Discord. And there'll be lots of streams. You can stream yourself, jump on streams with people or whatever, ask questions, and talk about it, and tweet a lot. Do lots of tweeting. Do a lot of comments on the tweets. They'll be tweeting a lot. So those tiles will also make sure they're saying that like the tiles will be in different places now because they're so used to clicking certain areas. The tiles might be shifted because there's more in different tiles. Be careful clicking on the tiles, and report bugs via the ticket system. And avoid comparing skills items and other things in exact one-on-one fashion. The game balance approach is holistic. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. Like, okay, the mage, they have the best damage skills, right? Hands down. But if you look holistically, they may not get that good defense. They may got damage, but they may not get that good defense, especially when they're primary attribute giving dodge.
I think this is just JB saying, "Don't judge me," is what he's saying. This is what this message is.
Literally. No, that's some high level game design theory right there. I agree.
Well, I mean, if you can say that for sure for a lot of stuff. When you talk about just skills that aren't very good, like magic missile, there's nothing really so.
Yeah, if I would do that with the caveat, if he didn't buff Master Blow by 0.5 point of damage, I would think it was high level game design. So maybe he's just talking nonsense. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing about it. Like magic missile, the benefit is that you can use it all at once or whatever, right? So then you're like, oh, it's the last hit. I'm trying to kill a dude, but still, it's just not good enough to like convince somebody to use it ever. So I don't know. Anyways, that's just kind of the thing that like there are things that we are kind of comparing a little bit more to 1-to-1 because their holisticness is just not strong. Yeah, so like this is, let's see, is there anything else that we didn't cover here? The non-combat encounters, like you'll see guys will, there'll be sphinxes and different things pop up where you can like roll dice to win or lose stuff. And just so you know, there's different things you can win, like chance to hit increase or more XP, or they can sometimes, like the treasure chest, take items away from you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look who's here. Somebody just woke up, Katrino. You want to jump on the stream?
Chance
Look
to
at this
hit, you
guy.
cannot get it in the equipment. You can get it only from a skill or non-combat encounter. And it's pretty valuable because hitting is important.
Yeah, if you get 20 or 30, if you get 30 Sphinxes correct in a row, you can be as good as casting a haste for 5 skill points. So you should definitely try to do that.
Yeah, and so like, you know, it makes it more fun to use the NPCs because they used to cost a quest and now they don't. And well, whatever. The point is that like it'll be fun to see how there's a little bit of a difference in balancing or whatever or not. But I avoid the treasure chest. I don't like it when it was always taking like my best items. I don't like that. But I guess we'll see how that works out this year. Katrino, if you want to jump in. Oh, he's not even watching anymore. Thanks, Katrino. Now he's back. Katrino, if you want to jump in, there's a link in the Discord in the Sentinel chat. And yeah, and also Shinobi and new people out there that are maybe watching this, like we're streaming all the time and come on streams with us and like, you know, hang out and like either comment, ask questions, or even hop on the stream live and ask a question. It's all and like make tweets, post it in the Discord and the Twitter sub channel and all that stuff. Participation is huge. This game is really fun and cool, but games grow and get more people to play them by the community doing all this stuff, right? Because I'm part of the team for the game, and we've tried so hard to market and go to all these other projects and to do collabs with them and stuff. But like, dude, everybody's so like thinned out that it's like, you know, it's that's everybody, okay, Shinobi, everybody here. It gives me that same answer. But yeah, you're so shy. You're only in the Discord like 24 hours a day asking questions, right? So anyways, but like that's just what also I'm here for to do is like help you guys if you need any help. Even if you want to do a stream, I'll jump on it maybe or something, you know, like cool stuff like that. Just having a lot of writing skills. And I saw that. I know you're offering that too. But this is the thing, Shinobi. Let me tell you something. When you go and find an NFT project or a gaming project or anything in the world, and you offer to help, that's really great. But the thing is that like your way of helping might not be the way that can actually be helpful, right? Like if you go, oh, I could help write for the game. Well, there's already people doing that. And they're like founders of the game that invested a lot of money and stuff, right? So they're probably not going to bring on someone to help write in most cases. But that doesn't mean you can't go on Twitter and write amazing things and write stuff about the game and start to just do it, right? And if you just start doing stuff, all of a sudden, you never know. You might end up with some game or project being like, hey, this is really great. We want to hire you to do something, right? So, I mean, that's how I do all my stuff. I just show up and start helping and doing things. And eventually somebody like will hire me to do something. Like not always all the time, but once in a while, right? Gif Shinobi is coming for first place. Well, that's the thing, Katrino. Did you see the video yet? I mean, I don't want to like, you know, shake a tail feather or anything, but...
Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive Web3 game modeled after Dungeons & Dragons. With just 15 moves a day, you must find the right balance to navigate each zone and climb the leaderboard. In the meantime, you can also find NFTs that will bolster your chance to win or can be traded to other players.
Lots to do. You understand.
Season 2 gave out over $12,000 in prizes. And now in Season 3, we have Choose Your Own Adventure, new quest NFTs, and a smelter. Sure, you're ready for Season 3 by picking up an NFT hero via the secondary market on OpenSea. Will you be our Season 3 champion? Check out our website, dragonscrossing.com, for more information. Let's go!
There it is, Katrino. All right, I did that for you and for Bob. All right, and I'll make a version where Kung Fu is crying because he got in third place. All right, there you go. And hey, Katrino, you see that? I went and stole your little PFPs. Now, if you had like doxed yourself and put your face there, your face would have been there exploding as a champion. But it's just a PFP of you. And Bob's got a nice little artistic thing. I'm not sure, Bob, what that is. Is that like from a game or something? What's your PFP from?
My PF. Oh, it's a magic card.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's cool. Katrino, I think, is from that one
ago.
game he never shuts up about, you know, that's not Dragon's Crossing, but we're not talking about that at all ever. Okay, no. Katrino, okay, thanks. I'm just kidding. But LOL. But anyways, well, we've covered pretty much everything, Katrina. You missed all the alpha. We gave away so much good stuff that like you'll never ever know. I'm gonna actually lock this video so no one can ever watch it, and only the people that were here are gonna now win Season 3. What do you guys think about that?
opposed.
You're opposed. Kung Fu.
I'm
Fu's
still
asleep
to win.
now.
I'm still to win
Kung Fu.
a season.
We're taking a
So,
vote in the comments. Should we lock this forever in a vault, or should we share it with people? That's my question. I mean, we
I'm
always
always
share it with
sharing.
everybody, and I try to tweet it and like shove it down people's throats. All right, that's what I usually do. You know what I'm saying? Like, please watch this so you can be better at the game, right? And also watch Bob or I Kung Fu if they stream, and Katrino, like we'll be supportive of all that stuff. And we're gonna do a stream, I guess, tomorrow and like redo the tier list. And we'll probably talk about these things again, but this video really kind of goes over really well the new things in season 3. And tomorrow maybe it'll be more about like we can talk strategy, but the season's gonna be starting. So Katrino, you're gonna have to be awake in the middle of the night probably, but the season will start and we can start playing the game, so like that'll be fun. So Kung Fu and Bob, do you have anything else you want to talk about or any message to the world before we like cut this stream down like a big timber with like a rendering blow?
No, I'm good. Gotta go walk the dogs. Later,
yeah,
dudes.
I think we covered all the changes, spoke some alpha and some builds and a lot of things that would help people choose the heroes they want to play with. New people may be looking on the market for some heroes, and we shared the builds that are viable for this season. If you're joining now, you can watch the whole video later and don't lock it back. So and other people like me who have 40 heroes, they need to select which ones to play. So it will depend on these changes and the things we spoke today.
Yeah, Shinobi, it's really good to like take notes, especially when it's like the build stuff we're talking about. I even took notes so I can talk about it better later because I forget things, and just simple things like here's some build ideas of like strong builds, and then go look at the skills and stuff. And also because the thing is when you play the game, you can find skills. So you might find skills you didn't think you were going to have, and that might be helpful, right? Yeah, and so that's good. And yeah, Citron just said like the Twitter account's getting more followers, which is good. And Discord is possibly been doing pretty good too. But that's partially also because season 3 starting and really fun stuff. I want to rewatch the vid. So that's the thing is people can rewatch this stuff. You can rewatch it back at like 1.5 speed, make it fast. But also learn the stuff and then start playing the game and think about it and then come back and have a cool discussion about what you think are good strategies, right? It's all about participating and being engaged, right? So yeah, so thanks so much, Kung Fu. Kung Fu is way over, I think, in like what, Bulgaria right now?
Yeah, 5:30 a.m.
5:30 a.m. He stayed up all night. I've met a lot of people from Bulgaria recently, even here in Denver. Okay, cool. So that's a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much. Kung Fu, you can go to sleep or take a nap now, and you just stayed up all night. I hope these explosions helped a lot, but there it is. Introducing Dragon's Crossing, an addictive Web3 game modeled after Dungeons & Dragons. With just 15 moves a day, you must find the right balance to navigate each zone and climb the leaderboard. In the meantime, you can also find NFTs that will bolster your chance to win or can be traded to other players.
Lots to do. You understand.
Season 2 gave out over $12,000 in prizes. And now in Season 3, we have Choose Your Own Adventure, new quest NFTs, and a smelter. Sure you're ready for Season 3 by picking up an NFT hero via the secondary market on OpenSea. Will you be our Season 3 champion? Check out our website, dragonscrossing.com for more information. Let's go!